Mark.
Hey,
Hey, Brad.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Just come on in here and take a seat.
All right.
Thanks for coming
Yeah.
today here. Did you make it to our offices all right?
Yeah, wasn't too bad. I mean, it's kind of crappy weather out, but
Yeah, it's still raining out.
yeah.
Uh,
So,
All right, you are coming from Plymouth, right? You mentioned over the phone.
yeah. Plymouth. I'm like by the beach. Like, it's like 25, 30 minutes away, so it's not too bad depending on traffic.
Okay. Do you get to go to the beach a lot during the summer? Is it something I like to do?
Yeah, I try to get out of the house and stuff. It's pretty close by, so it's convenient. But I also
Yeah.
try to avoid the crowds. Weekends and holidays, it gets pretty wild. So
Right. Well, 4th of July, that's the big one.
yeah.
It gets pretty packed.
Right.
And the fireworks and all that. Do you go there for the like fireworks and?
Not usually. I usually stay away from it, but
Or like the tourist.
yeah, that's
attractions.
exactly. Yeah, like I've seen it, like grown up with it a bunch and seeing it as a kid, but
Right.
so I don't go out of my way to.
Plymouth Rock
to
doesn't
get
excite
down
you
there.
anymore?
No,
Okay.
even though that's what everyone talks about and everyone
Right.
wants to, but it's not even like where the Pilgrims landed apparently or something.
Right.
So
Yeah. Not a history buff myself, but.
yeah,
All right, well, I want to thank you for coming here today. I know we spoke on the phone last week for a little bit, just briefly,
Mhm.
and you're able to explain that you've been having some problems with drinking and that you wanted to come in to speak to someone, which is a huge first step, to make that decision to call and schedule an appointment. And my hope today is for you to feel comfortable enough to talk about your story, talk about how drinking has become a problem for you, so I can get an idea of what you're dealing with and maybe what type of supports would be most appropriate for you
okay,
moving forward. And that's things that we'll discuss together about. But it's important for me, for you to know that this is a space where there's no judgment. There's no right or wrong that we're talking about here when you explain what you're going through. It's it sounds like a really tough situation that you're going through right now, and we're here to support that and to be with you through those steps of your journey to hopefully improve, for self-improvement and to get out of where you are right now in your life. So
right.
Congratulate you on that. So if you don't mind answering a few questions for me. You mentioned alcohol was becoming an issue for you. Is drugs also something that has become an issue, or?
No, I mean not really. I don't do any hard. I just smoke cigarettes, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the drinking. So when do you feel like drinking started to become a problem for you?
I mean, probably a couple years ago. My mom was diagnosed with cancer like 6 years ago now, and she went through all the treatment, the chemotherapy and radiation and everything, and they weren't able to operate, and she just kind of got worse. So she passed away probably about 2 years ago now, and that's kind of when things got worse.
Yeah, I imagine.
It was just like a very stressful moment. So I, picked up on drinking a little bit more. I mean, I drank before, but I don't think it was that big of an issue, and it definitely became one after that.
You feel like you started drinking more after your mother passed away?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
could you explain, present day, kind of what a typical week looks like for you in terms of how much alcohol you can consume?
Sure. I guess like during the week it's like 4 to 5 times. Like mostly beer. Nothing crazy. Occasionally if it's like a really stressful day or something, I'll have like a rum and coke or whatever. But Mostly like a 6-pack of beer, like, a day or whatever,
Okay.
like 4 days, 5 days. And then weekends is really like I'm more social on weekends, and I usually drink, hard liquor, mixed drinks, things like that on weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like an idea of on weekends like how many hard drinks you have, or?
It's probably like 10 or
Okay.
more, maybe. I don't know. Kind of hard. I don't like keep track, so it's kind of hard.
Sure, sure.
But like probably like around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned your drink has become a problem for you. Can you explain what those problems look like? What kind of problems?
Yeah. So, I guess after my mom passed, was when my drinking was kind of at its worst. I mean, it's better now, but I kind of just hit a rough spot where I was drinking almost every day, and a few times I'm not proud of, but like I'd get behind the wheel, and like if I drink at the bar, it's also hard to get home sometimes because there's not always like an Uber or something, but I'd get behind the wheel and drive home, and then keep drinking at home, and sometimes I'd black out, and that was becoming an issue, not just for me. I mean, like I just wouldn't remember what happened the night before, and I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and I know it was really stressful for her, and she ended up like leaving me for it. Like she wasn't able to. It was just too much. I mean, she had her own issues going on, and we just weren't on the same page, and there's kind of a lot of things going on between us, and with the drinking too. She just didn't want to, kind of add that to the list of things that were going on. So she kind of ended it and moved out, and I had to move out because I couldn't, afford the place on my own, and I moved in with my brother. So that was kind of like one of the biggest things that really happened. And then also, I was let go. I was a store manager at Marshall's, and I got let go like a year and a half ago because I was missing work because of hangovers, sleeping in late, either missing shifts and stuff. So unfortunately, I mean, my boss was kind of an asshole, so that didn't help me wanting to like go in there and have to deal with him every time I go in. But yeah, so I got let go there, and now I'm just kind of working a few days a week and stuff. But those are probably the biggest changes.
Okay. Yeah. And you mentioned you're working a few days a week. Where are you working now?
Yeah, I work at 7-Eleven, just as like store associate there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like it there?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It pays the bills, and it is what it is, I guess.
Sure.
But,
all right. So you mentioned your girlfriend that you used to, live together with. It sounds like she had, some objections to your drinking. Anyone else in your life in the past or present that's, come to you and, asked you to stop drinking, or has made comments about you drinking too much?
It was mostly my girlfriend and my brother. Now that I live with him, he's obviously sees a little bit, but I feel like I have a little bit more control over it, especially now. I mean, it was pretty bad, like I said, after my mom passed, but I feel like it's not as bad now, but they're kind of the only people who have really like been bothered by it. And like my brother even was the one who kind of pushed me to kind of seek out help. So that's part of the reason why I'm here. But yeah, I mean, maybe like one of my friends like kind of like casually said that it's maybe I drink too much, but we're just joking around and stuff.
So it sounds like you don't feel like it's too much of a problem now, but your brother has asked you to seek some treatment, some help.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like you have that you have to seek out treatment right now?
I mean, I know it's not like the healthiest thing in the world to drink, but I also feel like, it's like I'm not perfect. Like shit happens, and I feel like it's a way to escape, and it's not like I'm out of control. I'm not 100% dependent on it. I'm not like drunk at work. I'm not, you know, it's more of just like a way that I can kind of escape reality, I guess, and not have to deal with, everyday problems. But yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like, you've been through a lot, especially the past few years after your mom passed away. Have you seen a therapist or, gotten any help for any of, mental health issues that you might have encountered?
No, I mean, I haven't before, but I've, been feeling like more down, more depressed. Like I said, especially since my mom passed away, because I'm just kind of not happy with the way things are going. And like living with my brother, it's not like we're, happily living together. It's like I'm there because I don't have another place to go. So it's, kind of frustrating and, not very exciting to, not have my own place and, just to be working a few days a week and all that. But.
So you're feeling depressed. Does it ever get, so overwhelming for you where, you tend to isolate yourself from others or, isolate yourself from social situations?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I do. Like probably like on weekends and stuff, like I don't go out as much, and sometimes I'll just kind of close myself in my room and kind of just drink and try to not think about, what's going on and my like everyday stresses that I'm dealing with. Yeah.
Do you ever have thoughts of harming yourself or harming others?
No, I think right after my mom passed, it was tough, and I may have had some like negative thoughts, but I've never really like had them after that or anything.
Okay, and currently you don't have any?
No, yeah, no suicidal thoughts or anything recently. It's just the depression.
Okay.
Kind of like holds tight.
Okay. And do you have any significant medical history? Anything in terms of like seizures?
No, nothing like that.
Any type of like chronic illnesses?
No, not really.
No. Okay. Trying to get an idea of what your willingness to participate in, types of services to help give you more support and the support that you feel that you need, or it sounds like your brother hopes that you can get. Do you feel like that's something that you're willing to participate in?
Yeah, I mean, I know that my drinking's an issue, and it's definitely having a negative impact. So I do want to do something about it, but I don't necessarily want it to be like too like intrusive either. I don't want to have to like give up everything just to try to work on this or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So there are settings that are called outpatient settings where you'd be able to receive treatment, for like a set number of hours a day at a facility. That can kind of, I know you mentioned you working. Is transportation an issue for you?
No, I mean, I haven't been driving recently, but my brother, we have like when I did drive, it was his car, but if I need, he gives me rides and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your honesty. It sounds like you're acknowledging that there are some problems that you have and how drinking has become something where it's been interfering with your life. It has, and just from hearing what you've shared with me, it sounds like there's people around you too that feel like it's becoming, an issue to where you need help. So I appreciate you, coming in today and sharing that information, and moving forward, we can, assess what type of services would be most appropriate for you.
Okay.
All right?
All right, I appreciate it.
Sure. Nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Take care.